Hi, y'all. Sorry I can't be there today, but I'm hoping that today's meeting is helpful for y'all in setting yourselves up for the rest of the year. These are a few lessons that I wish I paid attention to more at the start of the year. And I hope that sharing these with you now can help you all prepare for what might come this year. Um, and so, the first thing I want to share with you all is about life with God. And as you all know, Ivy has so many opportunities for us to meet and pray and study scripture throughout the week. And we really do become busy going to Bible studies, mentoring students, and helping out with events where we can. Um, but then leading in this capacity, leading an area, and leading the fellowship really adds another layer. Um, so, something that I've always known is that my personal life with God is so important. But after looking back through this year, I now know that it's not just important, but it's vital to have consistent personal rhythms with God. There was a time this semester that I felt burnt out more than I ever have before. And some of y'all might know when that was. But Bible studies and mentorship and leading meetings and visioning for the fellowship just felt started to feel like burdens, and I really started to question why I was leading in the capacity that I was, especially because this was my senior year, and there were so many other things that I could have been doing with my time that I had left in college. um, I just felt a lot of pity for myself and how many hours and how much I was actually spending time doing things for IB. Um, and so when I mentioned my burnout to mentors and people in my life, um, I was encouraged to bring all of my responsibilities before the Lord and ask what He saw in those and whether I was actually supposed to be leading these things. And when I asked God, the question changed a little bit. It wasn't, am I supposed to be leading these things? But it was, why why was I serving this fellowship? And what came out of that was that it wasn't to please people or to show that I was leading well. I was serving because I wanted people to know God deeply and help them grow in their faith. Um, and yeah, in asking God about how I should hold these things, that was when I was able to remember um, why why I was serving. But I think what's funny is that I could not realize that on my own without bringing those things to God. Um, and it's also funny because I was serving because I wanted people to know God deeply, but during that time, um, I was not engaging with God deeply. I would skip my quiet times because I had a meeting, or I would skip my Sabbath because I felt like I didn't have time to spend 4 hours just sitting and doing nothing. But those were all things that were really vital to my life with God. Was spending time in extended prayer, spending time journaling for an extended amount of time, taking time to look up at the sky and walk around and pray and read my Bible alone. Um, those were the ways that I felt connected to God, but I was neglecting those so that I could serve in IB. And so, my advice to y'all is, um, even though life gets busy in IB, we have so many things that we're doing and students that we're meeting, um, and we have the tendency to think like, oh, like we can do our quiet times later, or oh, we can like prioritize our life with God later, like it'll just be like a day and I'll push it off. But realize that those things are so important to how you lead. If you're leading from a place of your own knowledge without thinking about how God is thinking of the things that are happening in your life, we tend to go off course and do those things in vain, kind of like what we learned on Sunday. So, so prioritize your life with God. It is so important. The second thing that I wanted to share with y'all is about interruptions in leadership. And one, interruptions will happen this year. I think we've seen that with COVID-19 and how we've all been sent home and can't see each other. And I think one that's been that was a really disappointing for me, and I think for all of y'all as well. That now we have to meet online and over Zoom. It's just not ideal. So one, I think the first thing is to give those disappointments to God, because He does actually want to know our hearts and wants to know what's going on for us. And when we're able to give those disappointments to Him, it's also an act of giving our control over to Him too. I think I'm reminded of the Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch. And Philip is called by the Spirit to go and get in this chariot, and he ends up preaching the word to this man. And that interruption for Philip, he had no idea what was happening, didn't understand why he was doing it, but he still went, and God had someone for him to minister to. And for us, I think too, during coronavirus, we're like, why? What is the reason God is putting us here in this place? But I think what I've already seen is that y'all are just being so creative. Just even last night, seeing all of your ideas for how to engage and to be involved in community over the summer. It brought new excitement and new ideas to the table that we maybe would not have thought about for the summer if this didn't happen. And so I'm not saying that coronavirus is good, because it's not. But after we've given our disappointments to Him, we can have hope for what He has for us next. And so, yeah, I think y'all are learning this already, but I hope y'all can remember that throughout this year when there are more interruptions that happen, that we can trust God in whatever happens. And when we give our control to Him and give Him our fears, He's able to make something beautiful out of them. The last thing that I want to say to y'all is not a word of advice, but just an offer of support. If you all ever have any more questions, or if you want to talk about anything, I am here for y'all, and feel free to text me or call me. But I will continue to pray for y'all throughout this year. And I know you all will do a great job, and just wishing y'all the best.